Meantime, you have Joe Biden, as he did after Buffalo, calling for the renewal of the assault weapons ban, which he's been pushing for years and years and years. And he says it works. He says he knows it works, that mass shootings went down when it was in place for 10 years. And that's what we need. Again, here's just a bit more, not necessarily on that particular point, but on what Joe Biden's messaging was last night when he spoke to this.
The parents who will never see their child again, never have them jump in bed and cuddle with them. Parents will never be the same. To lose a child is like having a piece of your soul ripped away. As a nation, we have to ask, when in God's name are we going to stand up to the gun lobby? When in God's name we do what we all know in our gut needs to be done? I am sick and tired of it. We have to act. And don't tell me we can't have an impact on this carnage. The idea that an 18-year-old kid can walk into a gun store and buy 2 assault weapons is just wrong. What in God's name do you need an assault weapon for except to kill someone? Deer aren't running through the forest with Kevlar vests on, for God's sake. It's just sick. For God's sake, we have to have the courage to stand up to the industry. Where in God's name is our backbone to have the courage to deal with it and stand up to the lobbies?
What do you make of it?
The first thing I would say is that he did what I described earlier, which is imply that we all know secretly what to do, but that some of us refuse, and that therefore this is an issue, a debate between people who care about it and people who don't. That's wrong. I think that infuriates people, and rightly so. Whenever I hear him do that, I remember some of the excesses on the right after September 11th, where people would say, well, if you don't agree with our particular proposal as to what we need to do in foreign policy or counterterrorism or what you will, then you must not care about what happened in New York, which of course was not true and was deeply unfair. So I think that framing is ugly. On the specifics, so I think in the interest of fairness, it's true that if there were a so-called assault weapon ban, it's a totally misleading term, but I assume that it means AR-15 ban in Texas or federally, that the shooter would not have been able to buy 2 of them. So let's stipulate that. And let's also stipulate that if the same age rules applied to shotguns and rifles as applied to handguns, then he wouldn't have been able to buy any firearms. In the state of Florida, all firearms have a 21 age limit. In Texas, it's 18 for shotguns and rifles and 21 per federal law for handguns. The problem that I see with that, and the problem I think a lot of people, including many now within the gun control movement as well, have come to acknowledge, is that getting rid of a particular subset of semi-automatic weapons from the purchase point doesn't solve the issue, because people will just substitute out the gun that they use. And we saw that, unfortunately, at one of the worst massacres in American history at Virginia Tech. And you said earlier, you can do precisely the same thing with a Glock. And there is just no appetite whatsoever to ban handguns. It has about 20% support in the United States. So why would we focus on this, especially when it is true that when it comes to mass shootings, that mass shooters seem to have a bit of a fetish for the AR-15. But it's not true that if you look at statistics in gun murders, that the AR-15 or indeed rifles are much of a problem at all. In fact, there are so few murders committed every year with so-called assault rifles. The FBI doesn't keep statistics. There are actually more people in America killed every year with hands and fists and feet than with all rifles combined. If you want to look at the problem, in suicides and in murders, it's handguns. And that was always the focus. It's recently changed because these spectacular mass shootings that send us all reeling tend to involve rifles, but they wouldn't if you changed the purchase rules. So I just, I think this is a red herring. I think it is telling that even though it would directly address what happened, Chuck Schumer didn't introduce a bill on this. I think it is telling that support for banning so-called assault weapons have diminished over time. It is statistically wrong to say that the 1994 ban that I think Joe Biden wrote did much of anything. Study after study shows that it didn't. Columbine happened while it was in effect. This is a very, very difficult issue. I will just say for those people who are much more in favor of gun control than I am, it is obviously the case that the United States has a problem here in a way that many other countries don't, because it is awash with guns. I mean, that is clearly true. This doesn't happen so often in England because the guns just aren't available. The difference, though, is that there are already 400 million guns here in circulation.
That's the thing.
I just see no evidence that arbitrarily restricting which type you can buy, trying to ban the most commonly owned rifle in the United States. I don't think that is going to make much of a difference. It would if there were zero guns in the United States. We'd be having a completely different conversation then.
Are the high fuel costs putting a damper on your summer vacation plans? Womp womp. From higher prices at the pump to a jump in airfare, it is getting more expensive to get away for a week. But what if you didn't need to? What if you could soak up those vacation vibes year round? Get yourself a Michael Phelps Swim Spa by Master Spas. Whether you want to stay close to home this summer or you just want to extend your break. When you come back from vacation, you feel kind of let down. You won't now. A Michael Phelps Swim Spa by Master Spas can transform your own backyard into an oasis. It combines the benefits of a pool with the therapy of a hot tub. Look at this. Doesn't this look enjoyable? Michael Phelps Swim Spas by Master Spas have a water current so you can swim, you can do aquatic exercises, and you can have fun with the kids. The water buoyancy will relieve pressure on aching joints. Enjoy pure relaxation in the massage therapy seats of the swim spa and reinvent your family time while you're doing it. You will love it. Your family and friends will too. Michael Phelps Swim Spas by Master Spas come in a whole bunch of different sizes that will complement almost any yard, even if it's a tiny backyard. Check it out. You won't believe. And since it's heated, you can use it year-round in any climate. Michael Phelps Swim Spas are 100% made in the USA by Master Spas. That's the world's largest swim spa manufacturer. Go to masterspas.com, put in the promo code MK, and you will save $1,000 on a Michael Phelps Swim Spa or $500 on a Master Spas hot tub. That's masterspas.com, promo code MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.